Before modern heating, cold was not a background inconvenience. It shaped the whole household. It decided where people sat, how they dressed, when they slept, and how much of the day had to be spent gathering, saving, or protecting fuel. Warmth was not automatic. It was planned, guarded, and shared. In winter, an ordinary home became a small system designed around one question: how do we keep enough heat until morning? The center of the house was often the hearth. It cooked food, gave light, dried clothing, and warmed the people who could sit closest to it. But a hearth did not heat a home evenly. The floor stayed cold. Corners stayed damp. Smoke could linger. Heat rose and vanished through gaps, thatch, or chimney openings. People learned to live near the warmest point, moving their tasks and their rest around the fire. Every flame had a cost. Wood, peat, brush, charcoal, dung, coal, or crop waste had to be collected, cut, carried, stored, and kept dry. A family that wasted fuel in autumn might suffer in late winter. So fires were managed carefully. Embers were banked under ash. Small flames were preferred when possible. Warmth was a resource, and like grain or ale, it had to last. People did not expect indoor rooms to feel like summer. They wore layers indoors: wool, linen, caps, stockings, cloaks, and whatever could be repaired and reused. Wool was especially valuable because it held warmth even when damp. Clothing was not simply fashion. It was portable shelter. In a cold room, the difference between comfort and misery might be one extra layer, a dry pair of stockings, or a cap kept on through the evening. Beds were built for warmth as much as rest. Straw mattresses, wool blankets, furs, quilts, and heavy covers trapped heat around the body. In wealthier homes, bed curtains helped hold warmth and block drafts. In poorer homes, shared sleeping was practical. Several people in one bed might sound crowded to modern ears, but in winter it conserved body heat. Sleep was easier when warmth was gathered, not spread thinly across the room. A large cold house was harder to warm than a small one. Many ordinary households spent winter evenings in the most useful room, close to the fire and each other. Doors were closed. Gaps were stuffed. Shutters were fastened. People reduced the space they had to heat. The goal was not perfect comfort. The goal was to make one part of the home tolerable while the weather pressed against the walls. Food helped too. Pottage, broth, bread, ale, and warm mixtures from the hearth gave the body fuel against cold. A pot left near the fire could become both meal and heat source. Steam, scent, and shared eating made the evening feel less severe. Warm food did not change the weather, but it changed how a body met the night. Winter evenings often brought small work close to the hearth. People mended clothes, repaired tools, twisted fiber, told stories, watched children, or prepared items for the next day. These tasks kept hands moving and made use of limited light. The fire created a circle of activity. Outside that circle, the house fell into shadow. Inside it, the household kept itself going. Cold was not only temperature. It was draft, damp, and wind finding every weak point in a building. Floors might be packed earth. Roofs could leak. Walls breathed. People used rushes, hangings, shutters, straw, and practical repairs to fight the movement of air. A home did not need to be sealed perfectly to feel better. It only needed fewer places where winter could enter. In some homes and farm buildings, animals were kept close enough to matter. This was not romantic. It could smell, sound, and feel unpleasant. But animals gave off heat, and protecting them also protected the household's future food, labor, and income. Winter warmth belonged to the whole small economy of a home. Humans, animals, stores, tools, and shelter all connected. Before sleep, the household prepared for cold. The fire was lowered. Covers were arranged. Doors and shutters were checked. Water might be brought in before it froze outside. Clothing was kept nearby for morning. These routines were quiet, ordinary, and important. Surviving winter was not one dramatic act. It was hundreds of small acts repeated in the right order. Modern heating teaches us to expect the room itself to be warm. Earlier households expected people to seek, hold, and conserve warmth. They warmed beds, bodies, food, hands, and one useful room at a time. It was slower, less comfortable, and more demanding. But it also reveals something simple about the past. Warmth was not a setting on a wall. It was work.